Bro, I'll be trying. Give me a second. Hi everybody. So welcome to another vlog. If you hear echo, it's because I'm currently filming this portion, like the talking bits of this vlog, in my office. So as you know, I released a vlog last year, 2020, like the end of 2020, the end of 2023, the beginning of 2024, about how I purchased a home. Like in the vlog, I said I purchased a home, right? So I am now moved into said home, settled into said home, as I stated in my Welcome to 2025 vlog. It has been 2024. 2024 was quite a year. It was long. A lot was going on. And vlogging kind of fell to the wayside. But I still have the footage from the building process. Like I have all of the things detailed. I have notes that I took on my phone of what needs to be discussed. So let's just go ahead and jump into it, right? Now, the first thing is why I chose a new build versus a pre-loved home. I call them pre-loved. Basically, it was just a house that somebody's already lived in and they sold their house. That's what I define as pre-loved. Really, Nipsey? He's so rude. So, I wanted a new build because I was getting everything that I wanted basically out of it without having to like pick and choose like what I liked the most and what I didn't. I did look at a lot of pre-loved homes. There was one home in particular I absolutely loved. And literally as soon as it went on the market, it was gone. Like it was up for contract. So I never even got to do a walkthrough of it. And my realtor was amazing. I'll get to how I picked my realtor in a bit. But my realtor was basically sending me stuff and I was having a really hard time with the things that I was being sent. Like there were a few things that I would like about a house and then I just didn't like everything else. The locations weren't right. They didn't have a garage. Like I wanted to be closer to the city, but the ones that I was looking at didn't have a garage. And then my best friend had actually stated like, why don't you look at the new builds in this area? It was an area that I really wanted to live in. And I was like, oh, true. I should look at that. And then my realtor said it. So I was like, well, this is a sign. We looked at the show house. I wasn't the biggest fan of the show house, but she walked me through a version of the house I'm in. It's not the exact elevation. It's totally different. Like the outside is different, but the floor plan was basically the same. So I loved it immediately. But I loved their elevation. Like I wanted their elevation. I've come to love my elevation. Like I love my house, don't get me wrong. But I did want a different elevation. Like I wanted the front to look different. But I love the front of my house still. Like don't get me wrong. But yeah, so in getting a new build, I got to pick everything from scratch. So I got the floors I wanted, the kitchen I wanted, the fixtures, the doors, the colors, all that jazz. And I didn't have to renovate anything because it's a new build and you just get to pick everything from scratch. So I got to go in the design process, which I'll show you guys the design process. And I picked everything. Next point. So yeah, the process in full. I saw the house. You put down your earnest money. Earnest money is 15%. Am I right? 15% of the total cost, I believe, or 5%. It's a small percentage. It might be 15%. Hold on. Let's look. Let's do some quick math, right? Earnest money is 5%, definitely not 15%. So your earnest money is 5% of the total cost of your house. prior to the design portion. So at that point, it's just letting them know that you're genuinely interested. So I put down the earnest money. They broke my earnest money up into 2 payments. I could have done 1 payment, but I wasn't going to complain about them breaking up into 2 payments. It didn't bother me either way. So I did 2 payments. I did one in October, and then they gave me my design appointment, and then the other one was December. So put down the earnest money. I did my design appointment, and sorry. Okay. I'm covering multiple points, and I just wanted to make sure that it made sense. Okay, so I put down the earnest money. I went to my design appointment. I'm going to show you a clip of the design appointment, but first I'm going to tell you what you do. You sit down with the lady. She walks you through like all of your options. For the sake of my sanity, we broke it down into parts of all the options. So we discussed the outside first. She showed me all the colors. She explained to me that I could not pick and choose from each thing. You pick a color set, and that's what you get. And it's designed like that because they don't want multiple houses to have the same colors, like across the street from each other. So, because it was stated that I was the first person in my section, like on my side of the street in my little block, to pick their colors, I got the choose of the litter. Nothing was off the board for me. I chose my colors. Then we started looking at the exterior accents, like the brick. I picked my brick color, my stone color rather. And then we moved into the inside. I wanted to do my kitchen first because I have a very open floor plan. So everything is based off of my kitchen. So with everything being based off of my kitchen, I knew my island, I wanted it to be like the main, like not pop of color because there's really not color in my house, but kind of like the main accent. So I picked my island first, and I picked everything else surrounding it. Then we went based off of floors. I knew what color my flooring, I knew exactly what color I wanted. I'd been watching different vlogs. Monet McMichael had purchased her first home, and she sanded down her floors. And the color she sanded her floors down to, sheer perfection to me. And I knew immediately after seeing that that's the color I wanted for my floors. I got a color similar to that. It wasn't the exact color, but I got one similar to that. You can choose between carpet, laminate, hardwood. Laminate is called LVP. I did LVP flooring throughout my entire house. I do not have a stitch of carpet anywhere. I do not regret that choice at all of not having carpet. I do kind of wish I did hardwood, not necessarily LVP, but also my LVP in certain spots is like bubbling, but we'll get back to that later. So you do your design process. You sign off on everything. You have to sign off on every design feature. So I picked, floors. We went through bathrooms. I picked the sinks for my bathroom, my shower faucets. How I wanted if I wanted a standing tub or an attached tub, I did an attached tub. I got to move my outlets. I did raised outlets in all of my core rooms because I knew I was mounting a TV in every room. So I did raised outlets so that nobody had to put a hole in my wall or anything like that to adjust the outlets. So we did raised outlets everywhere. I picked the flooring for the guest bathrooms. I picked flooring for the laundry room. I did the handles for all the doors, the cabinets, all that great stuff. I had to choose a paint color for my door. I do wish I had went with my initial color selection, which was black, but I didn't. I can still always paint my doors black, but they're currently just not black. So yeah, we did that. The The railings, the railings matched the wood floor, so that was kind of simple. Mantle, we did my fireplace mantle. We picked that. And I want to say that's really the gist of it. The most work I put in was my bathroom, my personal bath, like the master bathroom, and then the kitchen. Like those were the most design selections, like where I kind of just said, I'm getting exactly what I want within reason of the cost. So there's that. And my, like, the wiring for my internet, you can do Cat 5, Cat 6. I did Cat 6 just because I work from home and most of my house is electronic, for real. So there is that. So after the design appointment and you sign off on all of your design choices, you kind of just move into the actual building process. So she let me know, like, I would get weekly updates. I did not. But she said I would get weekly updates in regards to my house, and they would just update me into where we're at in the building process. So I want to say from like the end of October to January, I was told that my drywall was going up. My drywall did not go up until like the end, like towards the end of January. Initially, I was supposed to close in February. It was very clear by the time we got here to see if the drywall was going up in January that I was not closing in February, and it got pushed out to like March. But literally after the drywall goes up, when they tell you after drywall goes up, your process starts moving, baby, your process starts moving. It was moving, and it was moving quick. And I love that for me. I did need to get an inspector. I got an inspector. I'm just forgoing like all of the trials and tribulations that went on in the middle of this. We'll circle back to that. But I got an inspector. So after, all of the fixtures and stuff were put in, the inspector came in. I want to say the only thing I was really missing was like window screens. I didn't have my blinds yet. And I don't think anything else was missing at that time. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. It's been a minute. Also, I forgot to mention, I did not have shutters at the time of inspection. I was supposed to have shutters in my house. I did not have shutters, so that was something else they were supposed to fix. But the inspector came in. He found some things, and he came in before the blue tape day. So my inspector came in, found some things. I let them know. It was like a week before the blue tape day, and I was like, is this going to be fixed before the blue tape day? Because the week after the blue tape day is closing. So they were like, oh, we're going to be fixing it prior to you closing. Hi guys. So there's something that I missed. So in communicating about like the issues that was found in my inspection prior to closing, the building representative, because she's not a builder, nor is she the building project manager, but the building representative stated to me that if everything was not corrected that was found in the inspection, if everything wasn't completed by closing, they had like a certain time period after closing to fix it. I immediately told my realtor. My realtor said absolutely not. Got on the phone with her and got everything corrected so that everything would be done by closing. One of my best friends had even told me, like, do not close if everything in your house is not completed. As much as I wanted to move, if everything hadn't been completed, I would not have closed on my house that day. But luckily everything got situated. But that's another reason you need a realtor. It's a great go-between, especially if you have no clue what you're doing. I have no clue what I'm doing. So yeah, it's just great to have a realtor because there are things throughout the process that you just don't know. But that was one of the things that I do recall she said, and I did not mention it. She definitely pulled that, we have a time period to fix it, And my friend said that was a situation, like there were people coming in while she was in her house. It's very aggravating and it's disruptive because you want to be in your house in peace. Moving is already a beast within itself. So just make sure if you do a new build versus a pre-loved, everything is done before closing. Heck, if you get a pre-loved, make sure everything is fixed before closing. Okay, so he found stuff with like the outlets. He had some concerns with my roof. He had no concerns about my foundation. There was a crack in the garage that he needed to be repaired. And he had a concern about there being water pooled by my water heater in the garage as well. So the inspector came out, did his thing. We cycled to blue tape day. Your blue tape day for me was a week out from closing. I had my friend come do it. He does real estate. I talked it over with my dad, and we felt that was the best option because the realtor told me, or not the realtor, the builder told me I could only have one other person aside from my realtor come for blue tape day. So he came with me for blue tape day. We found as many imperfections as all of our eyes could find. My realtor and my friend found way more stuff than I did. For me to be so particular, I was actually quite shocked that I was not noticing the things that they were noticing. But all in all, it got done. We cycled to closing day. Closing day, they were still fixing stuff on my house. Like, it got to the point where the project manager over my build had become completely accustomed to how particular I was, and I appreciate him so much to this day. He put so much of my energy into walking around and looking at stuff that he felt like something on my floor was off. He had them pull my floor up in my bathroom, and they were fixing that on my closing day. He was like, oh, well, by the time you get back, it'll be completely fixed. When I got here for closing, like to take my pictures and stuff before I signed, there was a guy here from the warranty, the 1 year builder warranty. And he just explained, like, as you notice stuff, take pictures, keep note. They come out within a year and they fix the stuff. Like nail pops, I have a lot of nail pops. Little cracks and stuff. I have cracks in my molding on the first floor. I have cracks in my steps, all those things. So he did like explain that to me, and I was appreciative. I went to the signing. We did our signing. We took our pictures. I got my keys. My certificate of occupancy is what I was supposed to get. That I did not have it at that time. And then I was told that within I want to say it's like 5 days of you moving in is when they expect you to have all your utilities switched over, which is what you need your certificate of occupancy for. I did have a bit of a hard time with gas. Water was simple, electric was simple, trash simple. You have to wait for them to deliver your trash cans. My gas, I had a bit of a hard time with it just because everybody kept saying that they couldn't find it on a map because it's a new build. But I ended up calling one of my friends who luckily lives in the neighborhood. I went with the same gas company as her. They were super, super sweet, super effective. I love them. And my gas prices are great, so I'm not complaining about my bill prices. I ended up complaining about my electricity bill, but that's because I'm used to apartment electricity. House electricity is way, 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 way more expensive. But yeah, so I got my keys and all my paperwork, and I started turning on utilities. I set up all my appointments before, like a week before closing, so that I could get my furniture and stuff within 2 days of me getting my keys, because I had to get out of my apartment by the end of the month. And then, that was my process. My realtor. So I found my realtor through one of my friends. She is epically great. It's Eb. Her name's Eb. I'm going to put her information in the description box below. But I absolutely love Eb. She's so sweet, so thorough, so on top of everything. Like, at one point in the process, I was like kind of timid. Eb wasn't timid. Ed made sure I got everything I was supposed to get when I was supposed to get it. Like, even after I moved and I was like, oh, I need the certificate of occupancy, it's not in my thing. She was on the builder. She was like, no, we need this. Like, get y'all a sufficient efficient realtor. If you live in Georgia, if you live in the Atlanta area, Cobb, wherever, the metro Atlanta area, because that's Fulton, Cobb, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Clayton, hit up Ed. Hit up Ed. Just look in the description box. Hit up Ed. She is everything and some. Like, I absolutely love her. When it is time for me to look for a new house, way out from now, I'm hitting up Ed for sure. Absolutely. I love Ed. I have no complaints about my realtor at all. Now the builder, I still don't like the builder for real. Like, I don't. I like the project manager for the builder. He's no longer at this site. He was moved on to another site. I don't know if it's because they was jealous because he got so many great reviews. Everybody I have talked to loves him. Like, to the point where I moved in, he was still coming over every day and checking on me, seeing if I needed anything. Freaking Home Depot was moving my refrigerator in and chipped my door. Like, they chipped the framing to my door. They chipped the wood off my door. He fixed it. He didn't have to, but he did. Because my dad told me to put in. He said, you're going to have to put in a complaint about that, and then Home Depot's going to have somebody come out and fix it. Gary did it. Love Gary. Financing. So I did finance my house. I absolutely did. I put down a very large amount on my house. I put down a very large percent, I will say. So with that, I did end up going, that wasn't my plan initially. My plan was to get a house within a budget, and I was just going to pay off the entire house. I did not follow that plan. I don't necessarily regret that plan because I love my house, and I think it was a good investment. But with that being said, I did end up going through financing. I went through Bank South, and I want to call her a broker, but I don't think it's called a broker. But the person who was helping me through Bank South, she was so sweet, very informative. She answered all my questions and told me to stay off of TikTok. She was like, TikTok is every person's worst nightmare, because I went down like a rabbit hole of mortgage. And it was like people saying, oh, my mortgage went up $3,000. Oh, my mortgage went up this amount. So I called her like super nervous and was like, is this like a reality? And she was like, it's a reality for people who don't check their mail. So I'll explain that in a second. So yeah, I did the financing. We did paperwork. They do ask you for the whole kit and caboodle. They ask you for all your business. So if you're concerned about somebody asking you for all your business, I don't know what to tell you. Because they need your paycheck stubs. They need your tax information. Like, she asked me for paycheck stubs, tax information, my license. It was a lot. Like, they needed a lot all the time. Oh, bank statements. They needed a bunch of bank statements. Because of my situation and the inheritance that I got. Because of my situation, I'm sorry, I got a text message and it just threw me off. But because of my situation and the inheritance I got, they also needed life insurance statements. So I had to provide them with proof of life insurance policies and all this other stuff of where these amounts were coming from, and just that it was valid and I wasn't scamming anybody. So I provided them with basically my entire life, my entire financial life at this point. She had no issues with any of the paperwork I provided. She let me know that we would do the final part closer to closing. Like, we would run my credit and do the interest rates and stuff closer to closing so that they wouldn't have to keep doing it. So that was fine. I had no issues with it. She was working with the builder as well because she wanted it to be nailed as close to closing as possible. She did not want to have to keep doing this process multiple times. I appreciate her for that. And we went about it just like that. Now, for the parts of advice that she gave me that I was very grateful for, and I wrote it down because I knew I was going to forget. I'm so glad that I wrote it down because it literally just came back up at the end of 2024, like in December. So she told me to write it down. Because I was going on the TikTok, down the TikTok rabbit hole, and I called her and I was like, I'm really nervous about this whole mortgage increasing. And she told me it's for people, that happens to people who don't check their mail. What she meant was, she explained to me like around April, when you own a house, around April, they send you information about your taxes. Like the taxes that you owe, your property taxes and stuff like that. Your escrow, because you're paying principal, interest, and you're paying your escrow account. Your escrow account is your property taxes and your mine is my property taxes and my homeowner's insurance. That's what your escrow account is made up of. Hey guys. So I royally messed up this whole escrow account scenario where I'm trying to explain property taxes and why people's escrow account increases or decreases. So hear me out. In April, you get a little notification saying that your property taxes have increased by such and so amount. Say your property taxes were the year before previously like $6,000, and this year they're going to be $8,000. Well, when you pay into your escrow account is still saying the $6,000, not the adjustment for the $8,000. So you should make those adjustments yourself and set that money aside. Because what's going to happen is when it comes back around for escrow, you're going to have to increase to that 8. Your escrow account paid out the $8,000 that was needed. So you're going to have to backtrack, pay what was needed for that so that your account's not in the negative, and then move forward paying the 8. Thus and therefore why your account goes up so much, because you can either pay the lump sum or you can tack that on to your escrow account and just start paying it within your mortgage payments every month. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense because I have no other way of explaining that. No, it kind of just balances out from there. So the people who did, she was like, people's mortgage probably did go up $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 because that means their property taxes increased. They ignored that. They weren't setting the money aside, and their escrow account was in the negative by the time everything got paid up. So you have to fix that. Like, you have to pay what is owed on top of your escrow was increasing because your insurance, or not your insurance, your escrow increased because your property taxes increased, and they are basing it off of what is now owed. So it was going to go up anyways. So here's an example. Say, I'll give you my example, like what's happening with me. I have a set amount that I'm paying for my mortgage, correct? I saw in April what was divvied out. It was less than what is assumed to be my property taxes. So my escrow it decreased, and they sent me a large lump sum back. She gave me a tip on it. She told me this was going to happen. She said, take that lump sum, put it away. Don't touch it. Don't spend it. Nothing. Put it away. Put it into another account. Put it away. Keep it, because the following year, your escrow account is going to be in the negative. Because in April, it hasn't happened yet, but in April, I'm going to get the actual amount that I'm going to owe for property taxes, which is going to be more than what they assumed from last year. Because what they're asking me to pay starting in February this year is $800 something less than what I am already paying. I've already done the math. I'm going to continue paying, like setting aside the same mortgage rate that I've been setting aside. I'm going to keep that money that they sent me back, and I'm putting all of that back in the escrow account when they ask for it as a lump sum, because they're going to ask for that lump sum. And then my mortgage will probably go back to the same amount it was before, or just a little bit more, which is cool. It's fine by me. I've already set up my finances so that I'm aware of this. It's not going to come as a shell shock for me. And basically, you have to just kind of like play an assumption game from there on. And of course, you also can do a homestead tax. But I'm not at the point where I can do the homestead tax yet, because I haven't been here for a full year. Like a full tax year, that is. So there's that. So she did give me a heads up on that, which I greatly appreciate, because when I saw the amount that they sent me, I was like, this is a trick, something wrong. And I called my friend. I called both of my friends, my two best friends. I called both of them, and I was like, this don't seem right. And both of them said, don't spend that money. Put that money back. Put it up. Put it up or put it back in the account and let it sit there and continue paying the same amount that you already paying. Don't fall for it. So I'm listening to all three of them. I could have called my realtor. My realtor would have said the same thing. I know she would have, because she did say to make sure I check my mail and keep all information for taxes, and that she would cycle back and let me know when I can do the homestead. And I can ask her any questions going forward. All that great stuff. So there is that. But that is the story of my lender. I love my lender. I love the finance. The financing process for me was very simple. It's not always that simple, but it can be. But I've already gone over the inspection, the blue tape day, closing. I just talked to you guys about taxes. It's no joke. What would I do differently in this process is the next part. For me, what I would do differently, honestly, I would probably do a little bit more information into the neighborhood. For instance, I have an HOA. Our HOA they are not liked. Nobody likes our HOA in our neighborhood. It actually is very comical. Everybody loves our neighborhood and everything about it until you get to the HOA, because it's run by one person, and it's just like, they're not knowledgeable about things. Also, they made some iffy choices. For instance, I have an oak tree in my front yard. All of my neighbors have oak trees in their front yard. We all live right next to each other. There's not that much distance from our house. So yeah, all of us have oak trees in our yard, and we can't figure out why you put oak trees that close together, A. B, all of our utilities are in our front yard, so that also makes absolutely no sense, because oak trees get huge. Their roots do damage. You're going to tear up all the utilities and the foundation from where the placement is at. We have had arborists come and look at these trees and told us that we need to get rid of them. So that's a iffy question. Like, that's questionable. And we also need to, like, when we talked to the HOA about this, we were just told we have to get permission from the city, but then we were told it's private property. They're not knowledgeable, because it's not private property at all. Like, the complex is not private property, but whatever. I would do that differently. I would have talked to more people about the HOA. Right now, the HOA is not bothering me so much that I would not live here. But also, the stuff that they say they're going to bother you about is not typically, like, I don't care to paint my house a different color, which is why I picked the color that I picked. I do have an issue that I need approval to fix my roof, but I don't need to fix my roof right now, so that hasn't become like a pressing problem for me. I'm supposed to get permission to change, like, plants and stuff. I think that's stupid. If I want to plant something or change a plant, I should be able to just do that. But yeah. Also, it does take them a long time to respond to stuff, because we have a lot of issues with our shared driveways. And then there's just unkept land around our neighborhoods that produce mice. I keep finding mice in my garage. That's problematic for me, because if it get in my house, like if Nipsey catch a mouse, they could have the whole thing. they can have this whole house because I'm out of here. But so far that hasn't been a problem. Randy does his job well. I do have a pest control person. His name's Randy. I've been using him for years. I've known Randy for years, and he does an amazing job. He's very affordable. I recommend Randy to literally everybody. Like, I've recommended him to my neighbors, to my friends, all that. So, yeah. Love Randy, and he does a great job. So I don't really have that issue for real. Like, I haven't worried about mice. I've only caught 2. I hope I don't catch no more. But yeah, so there's that. That's what I would do differently, honestly. It's just the HOA thing. I love the building process. I didn't like the builder representative. Her name's Aubrey. I wasn't a fan of her. I'm pretty sure she wasn't a fan of me, and it is what it is. We're done with each other at this point. But she gave me a headache for real throughout the entire building process. I don't think I would change anything else, honestly. I probably would have... No, I wouldn't have changed anything. Not even the order that I bought stuff. I furnished my house very quickly. That's my next point. It's like furnishing my house. I furnished my house super quick. Like I said, I had appointments set for my closing. Like, literally the day after close, I had all of my things from Home Depot delivered and my internet set up. So my internet was being set up the day after I closed. My refrigerator was delivered. My washer and dryer was delivered. Now they dropped something. They dropped my refrigerator. So my refrigerator was dented, but they left that on loan. And another one had to be brought out. And they broke the dryer, the washer. They broke the washing machine. And I have pedestals for both. So they just left the pedestal for the washing machine. They had to bring a new washing machine because it was busted. Like, they couldn't even leave that for long. But I got everything basically settled in really quick. And I didn't need my washing machine. I had just washed clothes in my apartment. And I still had a washer and dryer at my apartment. It hadn't been moved out. I got all of my TVs pretty much done. My best friend and her husband came in clutch for the TVs. She took me to go pick up my TVs because my truck, the X6, did not have enough room for these TVs. And she has a larger SUV. So she took me to go pick them up. Her husband stayed. He put up all the mounts, and the 2 of them mounted because they both tall. I'm short, and I can't carry nothing. So we got that done. Teamwork make the dream work. My best friend helped me set up my bed, like my mattress. Like, we unrolled it. We did the carpet, everything. Like, the whole kit and caboodle. The kids helped, all that. My furniture took a bit. I probably would do that a little differently. My furniture took a bit longer because I got furniture from Crate and Barrel and CB2. Now, the couch took the longest. So I wish I had to space that out. Like, I wish I had to purchase all of that probably the end of January-ish. So it would be delivered on time in March. Because some of it was ready immediately, so I could set it for March. But, like, my couch wasn't ready till April. Yeah, I didn't get my couch till April. My mirror, they broke. They had to bring that back. I knew it was going to be broke because I watched him, like, lop it down on the ground. I was like, oh, yeah, that's cracked. Sure enough, it was cracked. He was like, oh, we can leave it on. Take it with you. That's bad luck. Take it out. Because he also wasn't going to open it. And I'm like, how am I supposed to open this big-ass mirror that you set upside down? Make it make sense. I can't pick nothing. I can't pick this up. So yeah, I probably just did like little tweaks with the furniture separately. But all in all, it worked out great. I love how I furnished my house. I am a beige baddie. I don't do colors for real. So most of my house is beige or black and beige. And I love it. My office is beige. You can't tell because that wall is actually gray. But my whole office is beige with like gold accents. It's the only time you're gonna find gold accents in my house too. That's the funny part. Saving for a house. I do recommend people save for a house. I can't really give you any tips on that. In all honesty, I did not save. I didn't. This is all a blessing, but I did not save. But I do recommend, I know how to save after you get in the house. I can tell you how to do that. I know how to budget. So if you guys would like to see how you budget once you own a house, I can do a vlog on that for sure. But I cannot tell you how to save for a house. Saving for me goes into a budget. Like saving and budgeting are all one in one for me because I just move the money that I know needs to be saved out in the budget so it don't get spent. So there's that. The next thing I have is equity. Equity is basically just the added amount that your house is worth. I did go into moving into this house with equity. By the time I finished building and all the add-ons and stuff, I had equity in my house, especially due to the large down payment that I had. I'm sorry guys. Hold on, this is my sister. Hello.
What are you doing?
I was filming my YouTube vlog on buying a house.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. Okay. You got any tips for saving for a house? Because I don't know how to tell nobody how to do that. Hi guys. So I did talk to my sister, and she actually was the first out of all of us to buy a house. This is my oldest sister. So perfection, right? Older siblings always set the standard for the younger siblings. She had tips on how to save for her house. She thought it was hilarious because I was like, I don't know what to tell nobody about saving for no house. I didn't do that. And she laughed and she was like, no, definitely have to save for a house. So she did state that if you prefer, you can use your 401k for a first time down payment. Background, and this applies to me as well. For some reason, we have multiple 401ks. So that's why that's an option. Probably because we've had different like long-term jobs. But yeah, you can use your 401k for a first time down payment. And she stated that she spoke with a mortgage broker to pull her credit, to start working on her credit, and to point out like what stuff needs to be fixed, what stuff you need to dispute to be pulled off, if you need any particular credit cards to help improve your credit or help establish credit if you don't have credit. Tip for credit cards, this is a tip I do know. You don't want to go over 30% of usage. So I recommend figuring out what 30% is. Like say you have a $4,000 credit limit, the 30% of usage is $900. Don't exceed $900, and make sure you're paying on time and pay over the amount that's due, the minimum amount that's due each month for sure. Or just pay it off as you're using it. Like pay off the amount that you're putting on the card as you use it before the statement date. So there was that. But yeah, so those are the tips that she had. I can't exactly remember what I was exactly talking about before I hung up. Oh, I think it was just like saving for a home and how I did it, but yeah. Oh, equity. I was definitely talking about equity. I know y'all are sick of hearing from me and seeing me at this point because it's like, girl, you still look a hot mess. I'm real life editing, y'all. I'm so sorry. I did not explain equity correctly either. So what you heard me say was I went into my house with equity because of the amount that I put down as well as the add-ons. Basically what equity means is the amount your house is worth versus the amount that's owed on the house. I have a smaller amount owed on my house because of the large amount I put down. I put down maybe like 73 to 76% of the house I put down. So by the time my house was finished being built, the appraisal after building with all my add-ins and things, my house was worth more than what I initially purchased it for, which is the amount down and the remaining amount that I did with the lender. Thus and therefore, I went into my house with equity. And as I continue to build around our house, and as the houses get older, they typically become worth more, especially with the area that I'm in. Thus, the equity increases. So, I hope I explained that right. If you guys have a better explanation, put it below in the comments. Check the comments if there are any. I pray there are comments. Like, but yeah. Sorry. So yeah, I went into my house with equity. And fun fact, you can use your equity for a HELOC. So if there's like a home improvement project you want to do, or say you want to start investing in real estate or things like that, look into HELOC. That's an option if you have equity in your home. But you do have to pay on that. Like, you do have to pay that back. It's a loan. Just keep that in mind. But that's a little fun fact that I've recently learned. Can't say if I'm absolutely going to use that or not, but it's an option. Do I recommend a new build or buying a pre-loved home? That really just depends on your preference. I love that I have a new build. I love that I love everything that I put into my house. Like, all of the effort I've put into my house, all the love, all of the decisions behind why I picked what I picked. That's the part that I love. Also, not a lot of people know this, but the home I grew up in, like my mom's house, well, my parents' house in Virginia, my mom built that from scratch. Like, it was a brand new house. She started building it when I was, we started looking for a house when I was in the 8th grade, like towards the end of my 8th grade year going into high school. So by the time I got to high school, we were like honing in on different neighborhoods that were zoned for certain schools I wanted to go to. So I got the lovely experience of watching my mom build her first house. Like, it was awesome. And like, just remembering like the joy and the thought that she put into like every aspect of our house, I wanted to recreate that for myself. And that was a large part in why I went forward with a new build. It just has a lot more meaning to me than, oh, I just didn't want to live in a house that somebody already built. And like I said, I'm also very particular. Like, I'm very, very picky. So it was kind of difficult to find everything that I wanted in the house. Like, I didn't want carpet. 2-car garage, I didn't want carpet. I wanted a certain number of rooms. I needed a room that was on a whole separate floor from me, because initially when I was doing the home buying process, I wanted my little brother to move with me. He ended up living on his own and he absolutely loved it. So, but it was always still an option. Like, if he needed somewhere to come, he was gonna come live with me. He had a whole space in the on the 3rd floor. It was just like sheer perfection for us. Or if he wanted like a regular room, that was an option as well, because I do have additional bedrooms that are just guest rooms, like they serve as guest rooms. I also love having like family stay with me, or even just like my friends. Like my friends Diamond and Rachel know for a fact that if they need somewhere to come, they can just come and stay here. Even if they just don't want to go home, they can stay here. Or like my 2 best friends, like they know, like, you can just come stay here, even if it's just with the kids. Like, I don't care. My siblings have somewhere to come, like my sisters, if they want to come stay. But I just wanted a home where my family could come and stay with me. And yeah. So, like my stepdad, everybody, my dad don't like my stairs, but I bet you he'll come stay with me if I ask him to. So, yeah, I just wanted that option, which is why I got a bigger house. I love my neighbors. Like, I actually talk to my neighbors. We all exchange phone numbers, but that's why I prefer living in a new build, because you get to like watch. I love the fact that you get to watch the process. I got to you can get to know your neighbors anytime, but it's kind of just like it's a bonding experience that we all have, like when we talk about watching the houses get built and when we got to move in and stuff like that. Like, it's just really cool for us. Now, if one of us moves, of course, we're not going to have that exact same bonding experience with the next neighbor, and we hope that we like the next neighbors, but we kind of got lucky on our little part. And the neighbors that I've met since, like, that don't live on our little row, they're very sweet as well. So there is that. They're sweet. They're really cool. Everybody's been pretty friendly. I haven't encountered like an unfriendly neighbor. The most unfriendly person I've encountered is the HOA, like the person in charge of our HOA, who does have like of course everybody has their own stuff going on, but still unfriendly. Now with a pre-loved home, once again it goes into preference. I think that there's amazing pre-loved homes. Like I told you, there was a house that went up on the market. That's the house that I wanted. I love that freaking house. Everything I wanted in the house was in that house. And the closets was even built out. So there was that. Now, of course, it wasn't an option for me, but where I ended up is all the better because it's like my own little making of a home. So there's always that. I do have more clips for you guys to see. I showed you the snippet of the design center, of course. And now the clips that you're going to see after this, because I've just talked my head off, I'm probably just going to play like music through them. Are just clips of me walking through the house as it's being built. And then the blue tape day. And then the final clip is closing day. I'm going to like section it out. I'll probably pop back in and let you guys know, but yeah. So let's roll the tapes, enjoy the clips.
Don't put me on no time, I ain't late. Still rockin' ball, man, ain't bait. Sit back and roll a whole eighth. Smoking that shit to the face. All color cool, different race. Skate on the car, hit the gate. Ain't seeing no slammer today. Come 12 if you come from the A. Strip breaking over, ain't waiting.
Okay, y'all, we have drywall. I walked the house with Lex, Charlie, the kids, and Mama Linda. So, kitchen, dining room, living room, and I did do my measuring tape. It fits, so there's that. This is a space that I'm kind of considering doing a wet bar. I'm gonna have her measure it out. The problem is when I measure the couch, it literally goes almost to like where this edge is. So it's kind of like right in here, like the edge of the couch would be right there. So I don't know. But yeah. Then, you know, I have my back door, like my back patio, yard situation, a closet. I think this is like an extra storage space. I don't really know. My stairs. This will be open. This is my garage. This is a really big closet that's likely going to end up being like like an area where I sort of like shoes, coats, all that stuff, like when you're walking in. I can't think of the name of it, but yeah. And then this is my bathroom. My doorways are freaking huge. But I also have 10-foot ceilings here, so this is another bathroom. Okay. Now, let's get upstairs. Whew, it is freaking freezing. So, this is my room. Law space. My bathroom. toilet, tub, which actually is pretty small. Pretty small. It's very deep, but it's a my size tub at this point. This is my shower, my walk-in shower, and it has a bench that goes in it. Linen closet, sink area, walk-in closet. Sorry for all of the stuff going on, but this is a walk-in closet, huge space. This is gonna be my office. So I'm thinking like desk here. So on this wall, I have it mounted for like a TV, but hear me out. I'm thinking like a couch situation, no TV, because I'm gonna have a lot of monitors, a lot of devices. Real life, I can just watch TV on that. I don't know if somebody's in here or not. My floors are done. I'm gonna set the camera up here, and I have handles, but I'm about to measure. I think someone's in here. I don't know. I'm about to measure my thing. It looks really nice. How cute. And the pictures on it. I'm super excited about that. Oh yeah. So the ceiling fan actually looks good. It's in the right spot. And I have electricity. So that's dope. Excuse me, Ned. Sorry. So let's do that. Let's see if I have bathroom stuff. Cause like, I have like trim. Okay, so I still don't have plumbing, which is cool. That makes sense. I don't wanna go upstairs. More so cause I'm like scared to. I'm stupid. My walls are a really nice color. Oh, this is nice. Like, I like this. My door handles. So, yeah. It's coming along great. So, like I told you guys, I was gonna pop back in and let you know what you're about to see. So this is our blue tape day. Enjoy.
We go around this left side here.
Don't put me on no time, I ain't late. Still rockin' ball, man, ain't bake. Sit back and roll a whole eighth. Smoking that shit to the face. I color cool, different race. Skate on the car, hit the gate. Ain't seeing no slammer today. From 12 if you come from the A. Strip breaking off, we ain't waiting. Starting off in the fast lane. Smoke on up out to the brain. Sliding that Bentley moves out.
All right, that is the end of the clips. I hope you guys really enjoyed this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for next week's vlog where we do a walkthrough of my car. What happened with my car, why I got a new car, all of the things. Bye. The bloopers on these vlogs has got to be crazy at this point. Whew. Nipsey, can you get from behind my butt?